of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hey. Hey. How's everybody doing? Welcome in episode 121 after Tottenham lose 2-2. Look, I hate seagulls. I just want to start off by saying that. I think today encapsulates why you should too. Don't know why I'm sharing my Twitter notifications, but there you are. You could have seen them, but you didn't because I just took them away. Speaking of taking away, much like my sandwich on the Santa Monica piers of California's finest beaches, when those damn seagulls took my sandwich. Oh, they took it again. They took it again. I said I wasn't going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad. No. I'm not going to get mad. Oh, God. All right. Well, that's about as much as I got to say on the match. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode 121. That's going to have it. That's going to do it for episode 121, rather. There you have it. My match review. I'm just kidding. As much as I would love to end the stream. We're going to get through this. And I've got someone to help me. Maybe help you, help we get through this time. This time is not good. Oh, I told everyone, watch out for these fucking seagulls, man, because when these seagulls, oh God. Let me bring in my guest. And by this, when I say guest, he's more like family. He's really got a plaque on the wall, a dedicated seat, so to speak. You know how directors have director chairs on set? I hope this man's got a comfortable chair because we're going to be chatting and he's going to be helping me understand. God, the damn seagulls. God, this next seagull I find is going to, Kuva. Ooh, these seagulls, man. I'm getting heated. I said I wasn't going to get heated. I don't even need this fucking hood up anymore. I'm warm. It's cold in El Paso, but I'm warm right now. Kuva, how you doing, my friend? You said 7-1. It was almost 7-1.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was right in every respect except for the numbers.
And which way that they were placed, but hey,
yeah,
that's semantics at this point, Kuba.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what is that?
Well, I suppose something's bound to go wrong if you base your score prediction on somebody's shirt number. Really, there's probably going to be a bit unlikely. Yeah. Well, we talked up about still being in a title race, didn't we? And
well, we didn't talk up still being in a title race. We talked up if we won today that we would be in and around still at the end of a calendar year with those who are in a title race. So therefore, by default, you would have to say we are as well. Now, today we did not get the job done, but neither did the title contenders. Some people have said, Arsenal going to win the league this year, y'all. Just don't you worry. Arsenal going to win the league. They didn't win today either. I guess a little consolation prize, much like the 2 goals there at the end. But we'll speak on the 2 goals there at the end in a little while. Because obviously I kind of discussed with you how I felt about it. Obviously some things that need to be discussed in regards to Ange Postecoglou. Decisions made, substitutions. Do we know more? Do we know less? What do we know? I don't know.
Do we care? Do we? Yeah. So
God, I'm thinking about these damn seagulls, man. Like I'm having flashbacks of when that fucker just. He even squawked. He was probably talking his little seagull shit. He was just took my sandwich and gone.
Yeah, but you see that one with your sandwich, he was lucky to get away with it, wasn't he?
And I knocked over my Dr. Pepper in reaction to this demon from the sky.
Well, that's not so bad because I hate Dr. Pepper.
Oh, really? That's like the best soft drink there is.
No, 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 do not get me started. I'm not in the mood for this shit.
Hey, there's a city in Texas called Dublin, and they brewed Dublin Dr. Pepper. They used to. They actually shut it down because obviously when you make something that's not cost effective and you like stick to an ingredient because you're like, these are the ingredients that made this good, eventually corporate America will catch up to you and you will fall under its big
Yeah.
mighty blanket. So they ended up shutting the corporation down because obviously they use like real cane sugar and real caramel colorings and instead of the artificial shit that they want to jam down our kids' throats these days. But aside from all that, they brewed Dr. Pepper there, and it was the best. I remember one time we went there, just like a couple guys on a weekend. Let's drive down to Dublin and get some Dr. Pepper. That's the most Texas thing you could probably say is let's drive down to Dublin and get us some of that Dublin Dr. Pepper. And I'm really deflecting in this moment right now because thinking
Keep
of
going.
those moments.
Keep going. Only another 50 minutes or something to go. Yeah.
Thinking of those fun memories, Kuva, really feels better than thinking about what just happened to us. But nonetheless, we are here to discuss what happened. Let's say hello to the chat before we talk about any of that. Jazz Fusion collecting both first place prizes today. Big up, Jazz Fusion. Appreciate you being here. Says congratulations to Valiz and Davies on the goal. Vic looked like he was out there by himself in the first 45. Really, the first comment hitting the nail on the head and kind of wrapping in a sweet little bow how I feel the match transpired, because that first 45, Kuva, I thought everyone was useless outside of Vicario and the goalpost. The goalpost did have two really good saves, and then Vicario with, I don't even remember how many saves he had. I'm going to look it up because I'm hosting a show and I should know, but Brighton had 6 shots on target in the first half. Obviously, 2 of those would go in. So Vicario had 4 saves in the first half. How many did he end up with? He ended up with 5 at the end of the day because obviously that second half was a little different. But 4 saves in the first half. The crossbar hit 2 as well. Kuva, why was Vicario so alone today?
Well, it's going to bite you eventually, isn't it? If you keep playing with 4 fullbacks as your defence, like one of them's Emerson Royale in the centre of it. I mean,
Brazil's number 2 can only give us so much, I suppose.
Yeah, he was poor, but they all were. Davis was kind of okay-ish, except for he couldn't deal with them floating the ball over the top of his head. He just hasn't got the pace. But when you've got no one there at all to help you, you're going to look bad anyway. The rest of the, we'll call it a defence. We'll be generous. They were absolutely shocking, non-existent. There was nail hit on the head there. We say Vicario was our only line of defence in that first half. We were so bad.
I think everyone was so bad in that first half.
Yeah, we had no midfield either.
Midfield was non-existent. Where was
I'll pick out
Papa Baltasar today?
That's the player I was going to pick out, actually. Not because I'm critical of him. I'm just going to point out the fact that when you play against Brighton, if you can't apply the pressure on them, press them and stop them having time on the ball, and you're not good enough to match the runs the players make, they're just going to rip through you. You give them time on the ball like that, they're going to pass it around beautifully and rip us apart. And that's exactly what they did. Baltasar at times, it's like he's the sort of training bollard, the cone on the pitch where you practice to do little triangles around them as you're moving up the pitch. He just couldn't get anywhere near anyone. So that was his box to box.
We had a couple of those in the first half. Those little passing triangles, those nice friendly triangles in our own half, usually around Udogi's area is where we were successfully doing. It's funny how on the left side we can do those little triangles, but on the right side, is it SARS? You're going to hear a lot of that tonight, I can feel. Because,
I think to be fair to them, we know it's a patched up team we've got at the moment. When we're looking at Oliver Skip having the news that he's injured as well, and you're actually going, even though he's a substandard backup, and he's still thinking, even he's injured. who are we going to end up playing in January? We've got players going off to AFCON and Asia Cup, and it's like, who's going to play? Dorrington, by that point, Dorrington and Phillips, they'll be like in the team because there isn't anybody else. They'll get plenty of game time. So it's exciting from that point of view. But yeah, I think the trouble is today you saw the difference, the marked difference between a team missing players that is adapting to a new style of play and struggling a little bit with it. That was us against Brighton, who are missing a few, same sort of amount of players, but they're drilled in now. They know their style of play. It's second nature to them. They're slick with it. They're intelligent. They move well. They pass well. They're quick. They have the experience of Milner, who keeps rolling back the years and looking like a quality player. He was their sort of controlling midfielder. Did all the hard work and all the dirty work. Added a bit of class to it as well. Had a very good game. You had Gilmore, Billy Gilmore, who I don't think he's a great player, but he knows his role in this Brighton team. Get the ball and hit the wingers with it. Hit the wingers with it as soon as possible. Just get it out wide. That's all he did all game. Very simple, but incredibly effective because they were so good on the wings against us. But for me, it wasn't Pedro. It wasn't Joe Pedro that was man of the match. I picked him out last night. One of my favourite players, Pascal Gross. I think he was just.
You mentioned him in the pregame. You did mention him in the pregame, Kuva, as someone to look out for.
Midfielder.
He was good.
He was winning the tackles. He was intercepting, reading the game, spraying the passes around like it was easy. He controlled everything. We were light years behind him. Standout performer for me. Yeah, we just couldn't cope. Our midfield was just not good enough. Højbjerg, I think, was actually, to be fair, that was a standard 6 out of 10 Højbjerg performance. Nothing special, but he was at least trying. He
at least had some good progressive passes over the top.
And he was chasing people down as well as he could. Yeah, it's what Højbjerg can do, but it's not really enough, is it? But trouble is, with Saab missing and Kulusevski was awful as well. He had one of his worst games, I think. Funnily enough, you don't usually see Kulusevski bullied off the ball, but he did a few times today, I thought. He looked very fragile at times. Sonny had the same problem. What's his name? Hinshelwood, isn't it? Their right back. I think he outmuscled Sonny. Sonny does not cope too well when the player's very physical with him.
But speaking of outmuscle, not just Sonny, I thought everybody, midfield, attack, defense, anytime it was a body-to-body moment, we were getting little manned. We were getting pushed over. We were just falling around, and I was embarrassed. I was absolutely embarrassed, Kuva, to see someone whom... Oh, sorry, I think something just came in here. Big up Shakar for the first super chat. Says, be honest, Jacob, how many water breaks so far? I had to refill the water jugs today, so very little hydration for me tonight. But big up Shakar, appreciate the super chat. But we're back. We're back. Don't you worry. We are back. Big up Shakar, appreciate that. Look.
I mean, I'll go on to it because it's not fair.
Do I need to delete
individuals, is it?
It is fair. I think we have to pick out.
In that case, we're going to go Brennan Johnson then, because as much as Sonny was,
he made me so mad.
As much as Sonny was muscled out of the game, Brennan Johnson never looks like he wants to make a tackle. He's kind of chasing back, but not really getting involved.
He's just running around, just doing the motions, just showing, here's me defending. Oh, here I go defend. Bro, you were not defending. And then, don't even get me started. I don't know what minute it was, but I just visually remember the moment, bro. Your first touch, you have Sonny, Richie. Bro, hit either one of them, preferably Son, but either one where both were onside. All you had to do was one touch it, lay it off to him. Bro, I'm a goalkeeper. Kuva, you're a central half. You and I could both, in an attack, full sprint, lay on to your side.
Full sprint. No, I don't think I could.
You could, bro. I know you could, Kuva. I'm just saying, bro, just pass it. You're a professional athlete. You're a young
Yeah,
man. If
sure.
I was 20 something, bro, there was times I was a goalkeeper, okay? But when I played pickup games, there were times I was still able to do some fancy footwork. Maybe it wasn't on purpose, but I still would end up with the ball at the end of the attack. And for me, Brennan Johnson, Kulusevski and Brennan Johnson were my two most frustrating players to watch. Not Emerson Royale.
Yeah.
I knew he'd be. I mean, of course, I'm going to say Emmer go. I'm going to hype up the man. But do I need to delete this clip?
LeBron James.
I think it should it, or should I just hang on to it? Because honestly, I feel fool's gold, Kuva. I bought in. I feel like a guy who invested at crypto at the wrong time. They said they convinced me, invest in the Kulu crypto. And I said, give me fucking 50 shares.
I mean, it was only a couple of weeks back with saying, oh, he's moved into the center. You know, this suits him. This
Yes.
would be good.
Yeah, I loved it. And then in the center today, what? Pascal Gross bodied you. Who? Huddersfield? Bro sounds like a fancy chocolate you would buy at a fucking road stop. Who the fuck is that guy scoring the first goal? Hudderstown? Bro sounds like a damn old person's chocolate that they serve at the old people home. We got some Worthington's fucking chocolates. This guy, they said his grandfather used to play for Crystal Palace or something.
Hinchelwood. That's the one.
Hinchelwood. Love it. Who the fuck is Hinchelwood?
I've only seen him a few times, but each time he's looked pretty decent. He's certainly powerful. He's got a bit of pace to him.
Who the fuck is... Why every year? Last year, I'm talking about Kiefer Sutherland, a.k.a. Kiefer Moore, on a hat trick versus us. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? And then now today, Huthers Worthington, the caramel chocolate family.
To be fair, Brighton do churn out some players that can play football. That's been their consistency all the way through.
I know.
But,
I know.
Your trouble is we don't always.
Who the fuck is Hutheringtown? Who is that guy? Why is he getting open space? Why is it so easy for Jared Milner? I'm pretty sure he's my father's age. And Jared Milner juking through Pedro Porro, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Emerson Royale. It don't matter who sticks a foot out. You're not stopping Jared Milner.
Who's Jared
And he gets
Milner?
a shot. And we're saved by the sorry, not Jared Milner. Fucking Milner, the dude from Liverpool.
Let's just go for random names each time. I'll go for Scott Milner.
Jason Milner. What is that? I can't even remember his fucking name. But why is old man Milner?
It's James.
James? Did I say James? What did I say? Jonathan?
I went for Jimbo, but it's James.
I'll take Jimbo. Jimbo's good too. Hey, big up everybody in the chat. Sorry, I'm kind of slacking, y'all. I love Dr. Pepper too. Who is Huthering?
Look, we're just going to accept that we just were not on it from the start.
Hinchelwood. Who the fuck is Hinchelwood?
It's another one of those players that comes out of the pipeline from Brighton. They'll probably sell him on for about 60 million in a couple of years again.
Yeah, he'll go to Valencia for 45 or some.
Yeah, it's just
Fiorentina
what they do, isn't it? But that's the trouble. They've gone through that painful period where they had to learn to play this way, and even back under Graham Potter, they were still learning the possession side of it and the passing side of it, and they got there in the end. Now it's second nature to anybody that comes into the team. They know how the team plays. We haven't.
Who the fuck is Hinchelwood, Kuva? Who is he, bro? I'm telling you, why did he look
King of the Seagulls? Your mortal enemy. That's who he is.
I hate this Hinchelwood. Oh, I hate him. God, Jared Milner. Sorry, James Milner. Why do I keep calling him Jared? I don't know, but that old bastard. Weaving in and out, crocheting our defense like he's in you know how old ladies sit there and crochet sweaters and knits and shits and
Funny enough, it's old Trevor Milner there that we could have done with today. somebody who's capable of just being in the right place, screen the defense, give them a bit of a solid defensive work in front of them, and just calmly and sensibly use the ball. That's all he did. It was the basics, but he did it really well. We couldn't do that. We were just all over the place. We had little flashes in the first half where, little passages of play where I thought, oh, this could be good. And then we did some really atrocious cross or pass and it broke down. And he just felt, disappointed. Even then, we could have scored a couple of goals. But then when you do that and you fail and the little things aren't working up front, isn't it funny how at the same time our defence goes on holiday, goes on vacation to wherever, South America somewhere probably. That was definitely a Samba performance back there. And the midfield just went AWOL as well. It was just combination of things. That was one of the most painful performances I've seen. But who do you really blame now when so many of them are doing it? I don't think just changing the few of the players around would have solved all of that. The entire midfield goes missing. Can you say that's down to picking the wrong centre backs? Yeah, sure, it might work out a bit better if you pick different people, but when it's that many, that's just an off day. I can't really explain why it's that bad. We just look like this tired team that's turned up going through the motions, not somebody that's chasing something worthwhile.
Who the fuck is Hinchelwood? Who is Hinklewood? Who is this guy?
He went to Mordor and he forged this seagull
guy, bro, wearing thing. Dirk Nowitzki's number, haunting, just. But
who's Dirk Nowitzki? Is this your attempt at saying James Milner again?
No, Dirk Nowitzki. Jared Nowitzki. No, Dirk Nowitzki. He's a Dallas Mavericks NBA basketball legend for Dallas.
Right. Well, I don't follow basketball, but on today's performance, maybe I should.
A big, tall German guy, and he was fantastic. And he's a great human being. I've met him once. Seen him twice in person. He's a great human. But big up everybody in the chat. I do have a starred question here from Talking Ball, but I'm really, before we get to this is a big topic that I do want to discuss. Talking Beer, so great question. I'm still trying to figure out who the fuck Hinchelwood is. Who is this guy? Like, I heard your grandpa play for Crystal Palace. How would he feel you're playing for the damn Seagulls when you're supposed to be an Eagle? Yeah, you're a fraud, I think. I think he's a fraud. And I think...
I'm just going to find out how old he is. He's only 18.
Probably 12. He's, okay, 18.
12, yeah.
He's probably as old as João Pedro's girlfriend. That fucking...
I'll tell you what, we're doing the whole stream on Spurs tonight. Do you mind if I just put on the Vikings in the background? I'll watch that. Just get through this one, Matt.
Because I started thinking about the match, and then I'm like thinking about Hinkelmeyer and how he was just like standing there with nobody. Udogi's looking around, like who's supposed to get him? Everyone's looking around. There was a lot of looking around, arms up. You know what I mean? When the goal goes in, a lot of guys doing this. And when that's going on, clearly that's telling me that these fuckers don't trust each other. They don't know what each other are doing. And we just completely... Is that a problem? Like, or is it just this is obviously what we, I mean, but the sense of like these players aren't even on the same page when they're out there. I mean, Ainge said in his press conference, like, we as managers do our best to set them up, and then them as players at the end of the day make the final decision on what they do as far as when the choices are to be made on the pitch. But
let's break it down a little bit then. Although we're obviously we're on the Emerson vibe train, we both accept he's not a very good player. I think the massive part of what makes him not a very good player is he's stupid. He doesn't understand the game. It's like a foreign language to him. It's like he's taking his first child steps into the big world each game. It's just terrible. I mean, how are you going to really learn to play out from the back when you've got a player like that there? It's not going to work. But unfortunately, if we're going to instill this way of playing into the club, we've got to keep persevering with it. So right now, there's going to be a few more games where you're going to have to clench your teeth and expect a few mistakes. And I will always reference what happened with Man City when Pep took over. First season, they had exactly the same sort of problems. Oh, not quite as highlighted as ours because they had a better caliber of player to work with. But at first, they were making tons of mistakes at the back. They looked really vulnerable because they were learning to play the Pep style and possession football and always play out from the back. And teams were picking off goals against them. They should not score. It was happening a lot. Even the Gooners, a few seasons ago, those back-to-back 8th place finishes, they were having the same problems, trying to play out from the back, getting caught time and time again. We're having a good laugh at it at the time. But now we're on the other side of that, and now it's us doing that, and they've got used to playing out from the back, and they're a lot better for it now. Although, funny result again today, to be fair, but that's just the way this season's going in general. So, unfortunately, we are just in this phase where new manager, new style of play, and we're going to have a lot of bumpy games. That's for sure.
I did star a tweet that speaks on the same thing you were just saying there, Kuva, which is we like. At least this tweet encapsulates how I feel. I'll bring it up in a moment. But this comment here from Soul Spurs Legacy says, Spurs fans should have watched the Arsenal game. Arsenal should have watched the Spurs game. Everybody's happy. Maybe it's just...
I prefer our result because at least we got a couple of goals to cheer.
You know, we at least had moment in the match at the end there where we had some fun. And, you know, Kuva, you and I were texting about that a little bit. And I told you that, like, I at least felt something in that entire match. When we went down 2-0, I said I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like we were trying to respond. There were moments where I was like,
you were texting. Oh, right. Oh, that's you. I've sort of lost interest after saying, no, stop sending me this stuff. I'm going to call the police.
Oh,
But that was you.
Yeah, that was me. You blocked me.
Oh, okay.
And good thing you found the link to join the show. But what I would also say, Kuva,
you hate seagulls?
Now I'm thinking about I do hate these fucking seagulls, and who the fuck is Hinkelsherd? And then Stupignon, pervert Stupignon, decided to bless the highlight reels because that was a worldy goal. I mean, beautiful fucking goal. Like, from, if you're a neutral.
Do you know what? That goal angered me more than any of the others. There were stupid penalties we gave away. But that one was just pure laziness. Nobody went to close him down. They'd done that from a corner, which meant they've already got people back on their halfway line. Their goalkeeper's back there as well. We've got their team outnumbered. They even have the extra man over who's just taken the corner. He's out of play as well at that point. And we still couldn't find one player to go out and just close him down. That really made me angry. It's like an afterthought. Oh, probably should have run out to him. That was really, really bad. That's something that both the penalties and that, I think Andrew will be fuming about, because that's stuff that you should not see happening. The pulling the shirts, players have been getting away with that for ages now. I've always
Kulusevski,
yeah,
I think last week was doing the same thing to Amadou Onana on a set piece, pulling his shirt. To me, Kuvo, I want to know what you think about it, because as a defender, to me, if my defenders in the box on my set piece were doing that, that would signal that they're not confident in their own ability to defend and to help keep a goal out in that instance. And it seemed lazy and unconfident of him to do that in that moment, because first of all, there was enough fucking time. The ball was going bloop, bloop, bloop inside of ping pong and blah, blah, blah. And you could have just done this 1-2 and you're in his way. But instead, you just you're just holding him. But while that thing's ping ponging around, instead of saying, let me get in front of this guy because he's standing there with nobody else around him but me, I'm fucking holding on, swing him around.
It's almost like if you're defending, you should be between the attacker and the goal, isn't it? It's almost like you should do that. It'd probably be a good idea for a lot of players, but
big up David Shearer.
We don't do that.
No.
I don't know. Who do you blame for that, though? I mean, I I
For the
can't
shirt
imagine
pull?
that we've got a manager that trains the players not to do things like this. So it's got to be down to the players at that point, hasn't it? They surely rehearsed how to mark people at corners, how to defend set pieces, how to hold your shape, how to marshal the back line and catch people offside. All of that stuff should be happening. I mean, we've been pretty good marshalling the offside line, getting a line and shape when we got a full team there. We've been really good at that. But since the backup crew are in, the expendables are in, it's just double gone to hell. It really has gone to hell. There's usually one player lagging behind, keeps people on side. Ben Davis taking a hell of a lot of stick for it, but I felt a bit sorry for him because who's he working with alongside him? He's got a youngster in a doggy who's going to make some mistakes because he's a youngster. That's okay. I'm cool with that. He's going to improve. But then he's got Emerson on the other side of him. And, that's not going to go too well, is it? I think we're over-dependent on Vicario already. That's not a good thing, although it does show how good our goalkeeper is. So enjoy his performances at the moment, I think.
That's the only thing. And I think it was even after the first one or the second. I can't remember. It's a blur to me now, Kuva. But there was a moment in which I was like, surely someone's going to help him. Surely, bang, 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 and he's flying around, pew, pew, saving goal. So surely someone's going to help him. Next, bang, 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 boom, hits the cross post. It's this guy. Poor guy. I feel bad for Vicario today. Chippy Napoli with the super chat, second super chat of the evening, says, Test, does this soup work? Yes, it does. Thank you so much. This makes me feel not good about tomorrow's show. Vel is an editor for Hassam with This Is Football, and he says, Jacob, enjoy the intro for tomorrow, so no doubt he's going to have something that's just completely a violation to me as a person, I'm sure. So looking forward to that over there at This Is Football. That'll be fun. Jacob, can you say hello to my camera, please? Hey, Vel. You and Seagulls can fuck off.
You sounded
that makes you
like a seagull there.
God, I'm still so mad about these seagulls. Big up Chippy with the 50 dono, says Henry ripped off Danny Z in the top raffle. Please get Danny Z a top from me. Daniela Zito?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, because I was on Henry's show earlier, and Daniela Zito won the. I was like, dang, it must be Daniela Zito's lucky week because she got gifted a membership yesterday, and then won a shirt on Henry's show. Chippy here sending some money to me for Danny Z's top. Daniela Zito, because you are a member, I think you can like private message me and it'll go to my email, or you can find me on Twitter. DM me. Let's sort it out. I'll order you one and get it sent to you. After YouTube takes their cut, I should be able to get you a shirt or two from DHgate, no problem. Big up, Chippy. Appreciate.
Chippy's just been incredible with the generosity over the last week, hasn't he?
I don't know what bets Chippy is winning, but shout out those wins, Chippy. Keep on winning. Winning, no doubt. But look, we got to talk about the inevitable. Oh wait, before I do that, yeah. DHgate, bro. Yeah, I'll send two because DHgate. Yeah, DHgate. Wait, Mr. King of Florida, you're not rude, right? Because people like you is rude. What? Mr. King, are you okay? I was trying to check in with the poll and see what the chat is looking like. I see 113 votes, and there's over 105 of you across all three platforms right now. So before we go any further, please do hit that like. It is absolutely free, costs nothing. I see 7 likes. I'm going to refresh the page because sometimes it needs to be refreshed. 66 likes out of 102, 113 votes. That's half of you guys not liking the video, but partaking in the poll. And the poll today is obviously, how are you feeling after the Spurs loss? And right now, 34% says it is what it is, just not good enough. 30% says it hurts. We were so bad today. And 28%'s already moved on to the cherries already. 8% says I'm a rival and I'm happy. So at least those rivals are happy. Big up Tom Martin, I see as well, getting in on the membos. Redoing his membership. Member for 2 months is Evening Jacob, Kuva, and the chat. Big up Tom Martin, 2 months in the membership. Hopefully when we do the next members hangout, Tom, you can call in and we can have a good chat. So looking very much forward to some more of those member shows. The members keep growing, Kuva, so as the members grow, I too shall have to do more for the members. I've been thinking about making some simple t-shirts, maybe some hoodies and stuff, giving them putting them up for sale and saying like memberships you get half off or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We both know you're heading towards OnlyFans stuff, aren't you?
If Tottenham keep losing, I might go into Only Feet or something. I don't know.
Jacob's talk to me nicely.
Yeah, that is part. I want a shirt that says "Talk to me nicely." So after we win, I can just wear a "Talk to me nicely" tee. I think that'd be pretty sick. What? I don't know what's going on in this chat. This chat is moving funny. But Tom Martin, big up for grabbing that membership. Look, big up David Shear. Big up all the membership. I'm trying to make sure I see all the members. Yeah, I don't know what y'all. I don't know what's going on. People spamming in the chat. Weird stuff. Nathan, the Spurs fans in Bournemouth, going to be licking their lips at our defense. I do agree there with you, my friend. Look, Kuva, we do have to talk about something. And when I first was thinking about it, there was a lot of thoughts I had running through my head. Shout out Nelly. And I can't remember, was it Garth Brooks? They did like a country R&B mashup. And then the hook of the song was, I keep replaying it over and over again. And it hurts so bad. I think that's how the hook on the song went anyway. Again, here I am trying to fucking talk about anything other than what we saw. But
I think saw's not a good enough word. It's more like witnessed, really, isn't it? This it's like a crime happened.
I was a part of it. We were victims, maybe? Is that too much of a stretch? Because we weren't actually getting bodied out there like our players were.
Yeah,
we weren't getting dunked on.
Victims, yeah, I think so. We went there in good faith over the festive period, and they did that. How dare they? Oh, special mention for the referee again. Disgusting display of refereeing. He just gave consistently correct decisions throughout the game. How are we supposed to compete with that? Bring back our VAR like it used to be in the old days, where we just get stuff given, but where even when we're rubbish, we get the results out of it. Used to be good. Look at it now. We're getting things right. All this absolute nonsense.
Absolute nonsense.
You weren't listening to a word of that, were you? You just didn't.
No, there was.
You're looking up.
You've
done Google and you're looking up Seagull Massacre. And you're just looking at images, bad images, aren't you?
Crunchy seagulls for dinner. Deep fried seagulls for lunch. No, there's some weird shit going on in the chat. Big up Giuseppe says, did you ever think of that third FC Dallas that you couldn't remember earlier? I'm going through the old academy players and coming up blank. Giuseppe, because I was talking about Chris Richards, the defender for Palace. He went through the Bayern Academy through FC Dallas. Also did Weston McKinney. And there's a third one. I know Jonathan Che also did the Bayern Academy thing, but he hasn't been picked up anywhere. I can't remember who it was. I know Ricardo Pepi, but he didn't go in the same era. But Ricardo Pepi is from the FC Dallas Academy as well. I don't know. I'm forgetting it now. It'll come to me, Giuseppe. But big up. Look, we do got to talk about something, Kuva. And this is the question. It's a great segue. From Talking Beer says, why doesn't Ainge trust the younger players? And I feel like this is a loaded question from Talking Beer. Big up Talking Beer YouTube chat member, but it's insinuating that, first of all, Ainge doesn't trust these players. And then I've also seen some things on Twitter. Shout out my buddy Patty Hartnett. He made a tweet, and I replied to it while it was fresh on my mind, Kuva. So I kind of want to read it to you real quick. Hang on. It says, Brighton had an 18-year-old. Dang it, I'm showing you all my bookmarks here. Hang on. Brighton had an 18-year-old, 23-year-old, 22, 19, 22. They were all starting today, and then they brought on two 19-year-olds. He says, don't tell me you can't get on with youth if you have injuries, because you can if they are trusted, as they showed tonight. Now, I kept this because this was my reply, and I felt like it was important to write this down while I was thinking. It was fresh on my mind, because when I was talking with Henry, I was like, I don't know yet how I feel about this, because I was frustrated. Why 65? Because the quotes coming out is, I knew we were, this is from Ainge, I knew we were tired. I knew we looked leggy and not sharp because of our tiredness. But he still persisted with some of these same tired legs, rather than going to some of the youth because of injuries, forcing us to tire out these players. So Kuva, I wrote down here, I said, I think it's important to remember that Ainge has seen these kids for maybe 6 months, while Roberto has had significantly more time to know which kids he could trust in these moments, right? Because Roberto's been there for almost, since Potter left for Chelsea, which was halfway through last year, right?
And it's not just the manager's familiarity with the players, it's the style of play at the club. Brighton have been playing this passing attacking game for quite some time now. All of the academy kit players coming into the team know exactly what they're doing. They've been doing it for a long time, all the way through their development. Now with us, we've just started Ange Ball, we're trying to start Ange Ball this season. So we've only had a few months at it. People are adapting to it. Yeah, I think it's frustrating. I think most of us would love to see some youngsters coming in. But I do remember Ange saying all those months back when we're talking about the likes of Veliz, and he said, it's probably going to be 6 months or so before you start seeing these sort of players coming in. And the likes of Dorrington and Phillips, he said very much the same thing. They will start getting their chances in time. So just got to be a bit patient with it, I think. It's fun. It's easy enough for us as fans to say, oh, throw him in, it doesn't really matter. But what would happen if he had thrown them in today? And we did still concede a lot of goals. What's that? What good is it going to do for those academy players at that point? Still going to have all the heat on his back from the fans. Whatever he does, it's going to be wrong if the result doesn't go the right way. So he's made a judgment call. I said I will back the manager, and I'm doing that. I don't understand every decision he makes. Some of them I don't even agree with, but he knows what he's doing. So we will start seeing these players when he decides they're ready. He's the one that sees them in training each day, and he has brought some of these players into the first team squad so they can train with the first team, become familiar with the way of playing, and it's going to take time. I think in the future.
So let me ask you this: at what point do we say to? And I hear you, and I'm again, I still feel like if the people are tired, you're saying you knew they were tired. You're saying you knew that they were not sharp because of said tiredness. Why? At what point do we look at it and say, just fuck it? Fuck it. If we're not going to perform because we're tired, in this instance, which is what we saw, a very poor performance, but at what point do we say?
I'm all for it.
Kind of open dialogue here, yeah.
Yeah, I am all for it. Bringing in the youngsters, so I've been an advocate for it for many seasons. But I'm just saying, I think Ange has his reasons, and I'm going to trust him with what he's doing.
Now that I'm thinking about it, and I'm referring to as well yesterday. Big up Ash for the super chat real quick. Says, ref had a mare. How dare he blow the whistle before we draw? What a bastard. Big up Ash. Go check her out at Talking Ball. Make sure you are subscribed. Just YouTube search Talking Ball. One of the mods put Talking Ball in the chat for me, please, if you don't mind. But look, there's a what was I saying, Kuva? Fuck. I hate ADHD. What was I saying? before I brought up the super chat? I told myself before I brought up that super chat, don't lose my train of thought, and I literally did.
Bringing in the youngsters. At what point does it? You know, what point does he have to like give them a chance? I don't know.
Okay, right. I remember now because I was thinking back about when we did our predicted 11, and we said, "Oh, Emerson Royale for sure is going to start there because, I mean, that's what we saw versus City, and we did get the point versus City, a much better side than what we were going to go against today. So you could see where it makes sense, right, to start with your two center backs if with the choices we had being Ben Davies and Royale. Now I'm curious if that means for Bournemouth for an amalgamation of reasons because of tiredness, stamina, etc. But do you think now Ainge can say, okay, now here's why I can't trust Emerson Royale at that right center back? Does he give that chance to Dyer? Does he give it to Dorrington? Who does he give that chance to necessarily? While I and all the fans would say, please no Dyer, he may see Dyer and be like, well, he can perform better than these kids. So that would be the option. If we had seen Dyer in the starting 11 and it was the same result, we would all be like, look, you start Dyer and this is what happens. But it wasn't. And it was the result that we. So to me, I see it like Ainge is still in this position. He's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, right? And that's kind of the nature of the beast when you're a football manager in a Big Six club. You either get it done or you don't, and when you don't, there's going to be fucking laser beams on you, all crosshairs aimed at you.
And look at the other way. Look at it from the other point of view as well. We went to Man City, played with the back four was the same, wasn't it? We basically had no central defenders in there, and we come away with a draw.
Only conceded
we
3.
Thought that was really good. So
we only conceded 3.
It's funny how the result makes the decision suddenly worthy or not, doesn't it? So he's got to spin the dice at some point. He has to make a decision. That's what he's paid for. So if he thinks that that was his best chance of getting something out of the game, okay, it didn't work out. So that's something he will learn. He's learned part of this process this season is going to be Ange learning what he can get out of these players that he currently has. He has to. He's got to see their failings. He's got to see their strengths as well. But most of all, he's got to see their failings. Then they will find out players that are lacking the character, lacking the physique, or lacking the technical ability. And he'll just go up with a list of players saying to the chairman, these are the ones you can sell. I don't want any of these. And hopefully they got a bit of an idea of who they do want to provide him with, or can provide him with. So it's going to take time. This is just going to be a painful few months, and I think this January is going to be really painful because we are missing an awful lot of players.
On that point, and on that point, there's a great comment here from longtime supporter David Shire. Sorry, I know I say David Shear and it's Shire. I don't know why I keep doing that. Says, is he showing the bald one the cupboard is bare? Is he showing him, look, we need some food, Dad. We need some food if we're going to survive.
He's going to be talking to the chairman on a regular basis, isn't he? They're weekly.
Well, Johan Lange allegedly is the guy that Johan Lange is supposed to be. Lange and Ainge is supposed to be the dynamic duo. So Johan Lange, you better fucking have watched what we've seen there out there today, because who the fuck is Hinkleshire? Who is Hinklewood? Who is this kid? Why is he scoring goals? God, it makes me so mad. Like I think about him and Milner, and I'm just like I know who Milner is. He did the whole fucking tour with Liverpool. Played for Leeds back in the day. What a guy, right? But he's still old.
Still good.
And he's juking our entire back line. Just weaving in and out.
Gary Speed was another player like it as well. Played for an awfully long time. Rest in peace, Gary Speed, by the way. Some players can just do it. Richard Goff's another one, played for a really long time at the top level. There's a quality to them that other players don't have. And when they get older, the experience takes over, and when they can't physically do things, they're intelligent enough to be in the right places and still perform. So we could actually do with a Milner right now, like I said earlier. They would fit in beautifully in our midfield right now. We need somebody that can sit in front of the back four and just have that little bit of calm and control, and that's what he does. Yeah, back to Ange and picking the players though. Yeah, for me, this is a learning season. I remember at the start of the season, forget all the we're going to win the league and stuff. Yeah, everybody knows that's just taken with a pinch of salt. But even though mathematically we're in with a shout, it's still more a fun thing. My sort of realistic, if you like, outlook at the start of the season was, finish in the top half and just see if we can develop this way of playing football for next season. And I had no expectations on anything. If we could pick up a cup on the way, that would be incredible. If we get ourselves into a league title race, which we did for a little bit, we're still, still not favourites by a long way, but we're still kind of in that. That's not bad. That's not bad, especially when you consider all the suspensions and injuries and everything, this crisis that we've had, and we're still up there in the top four. It's not so bad at the moment. Just give the manager some time. He's building it. The ball's in Levy's court now, isn't it? It's him and the other directors. How far do we really want to push for things? How seriously do we want to chase trophies? Ange can't do that without some backing, so up to them.
Great point there, and that's why I brought up this tweet to kind of correlate, co-align, one of them words with what you were saying there, Kuva. This is from Simon Umain, someone that I reference quite frequently if you do check out these episodes. It says, I have a massive crush on Ainge and this project, but this team will stumble and he will get it wrong at times, and we should point it out when it happens. It doesn't mean I'm not supremely confident this team is racing towards success quicker than anyone predicted. It's about being onwards and upwards. I think there was a part of this where, like, back to the Ainge thing, and again, I agree with this. It's okay to point out when things you think, or question when you think things didn't necessarily be correct. So I'm trying to think of the best way to ask this. Like, should Ainge have played the kids? Did he fuck up by not playing Gio? We predicted Gio. We wanted to see Gio. Said attack more than, but like
hindsight, I'd say yeah, of course we lost,
yeah,
so something was wrong. So easy choice then. But no, I've fully got faith in what he said earlier in the season, and so far it's panned out. What he was saying is proving correct. He said some of these academy players will get their chance, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time for them to adapt to what he wants for the first team. What would be the point in putting them in if he thinks they're not ready and they can't do the job? What are they going to learn then? They're going to learn how to struggle. That's all. When they start showing they're getting very close to it, like Valise now, and we saw with who's the other one came on the other night just for a few minutes, midfielder, I've forgotten now already. God, getting too old. Anyway, he said they're just going to take the time. They'll ease into the squad and they'll get game time when they're ready. Donnelly, that's it. Thank you, Hyper Noise. And yeah, Ange just said he was very open about it. He said you can't expect to start just for the hell of it. You're going to have to earn your place. So some of these kids are definitely knocking on the door, and they will earn their way into the first team. They just got to keep that knuckle down, keep trying hard, and performing and training. They'll get their chances sooner or later. I think January is a point where we probably have to see them play because we won't have any choice. So all things will come together. I'm not going to be sitting here and saying, "Oh, the manager's just plain wrong for not doing it." I find it frustrating as well because, as I said, I would love to see some of these youngsters to get a chance too. I really would. There's players we've had here. We've had this conversation so many times. The likes of Dyer and Don Bele and things. They're still on the wage, but I don't happily get rid of them and just give a youngster a few minutes each time. If it costs us a few points, so be it. Trouble is, what's the remit for Ange in his job description? That is Levy for saying we've got to have top four. If that's the case, there's pressure on him to make sure we get points each time. Sometimes it's going to backfire. Like today, we can see the frailties of the team when we're up against a really classy passing side. and we're not able to play our pressing game, and we're not able to have a sort of consistent sort of defender at the back there. And this is where we do miss the likes of Romero. He would have made a big difference today because he's very composed on the ball most games, despite this criticism. So what do we do? Get on the manager about it? No, not for me. I'm just going to sit back, see what happens by the end of the season. If by the end of the season we've still seen, never uses the youngsters in any match, I think, perhaps you start questioning things then.
I think Sheffield, I would put my money on Sheffield. We're going to see youngsters start, 1 or 2. I definitely feel that way because of the performance today. It wasn't good enough. And if it's not good enough, if it's too tired, how is it supposed to be better? Today's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we play on Sunday.
What else has Ange done quite often this season? It's been a case of a surprise where he's picked somebody. Emerson Royale in central defence. We didn't really see it coming. People have said it.
We said it would be better to see that than Dyer, and then we saw it.
Yeah, but we didn't really think it would happen, did we? But then suddenly he did it. So maybe that's going to be the case as well. We're all saying, why doesn't he do it? Or why doesn't he trust in the youth? And then perhaps the next game they'll be in there. Who knows?
There's something I do want to talk about. We are approaching an hour, so I wanted to make sure we talked about all the reasons we failed to win this before I moved on to it because
I've got a good one. They scored more goals than us.
Yeah, they did.
I spotted that. I thought that's a good reason we didn't win.
That is a great one. I'm also going to say because we were a bunch of bungholes, and that's the nicest way I could put it. Because I don't want to say we were just some bungholes, just some fun.
I think we just started off. We were just flat. We didn't have any sort of energy and zip to the team. There was no sense of urgency. It took until the 80th minute before we saw the urgency you'd expect in the team. And then suddenly we looked really good for closing the game out. Again, if better finishing or a little bit of better luck, or perhaps if they hadn't defended so well at times, we could have got something out of that game anyway, as much as we didn't deserve it. Because I think we ended up with more shots on goal than they had. That's how much we were bombarding their goal at the end there. A hell of a lot of it was being blocked and everything. But I think the rest of that game, we just weren't at it, and Brighton were just too good for us. They were just passing the ball really well. We couldn't get near them. Had no answer to it. Simple as that. The players we put out on the pitch just weren't up to the job. There's no escaping that fact, unfortunately.
There is something that I do want to look at with you, and just let's throw it to the chat as well and see what's going on. But speaking of chat, big up a user with a £2 dono says, I just hope we utilize the January window wisely. I do hope we do, and we are here on an hour, so we've officially gone over an hour now, and I think I can bring it up because I don't like to give refereeing decisions or lack of decisions too much credence in the final result, because one moment of a ref being a ding dong doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't have gotten the job done on the day. Right? We know they're going to mess up. That is always the attitude I take in which towards the refereeing. But when I look at things like this, big up a user, appreciate that super chat, my friend. When I look at things like this, Kuva, it says, tell me the difference and I will deactivate. I'm looking at Dunk going in on Kulusevski, his toes reaching to midway up his shin on the calf side, versus it is his toes are just as high as where Romero is making impact with Enzo Fernandez, straight red. They reviewed it for fucking 20 hours. This didn't even get as much as of a fucking hang on a sec. When you look at this, Kuva, what do you think?
The difference for me was Dunk couldn't get to the ball. He just mistimed it. I think it's a really clumsy challenge. In today's rules, yeah, sure, it could have probably got red. But for me, I wouldn't have given a red for that. The difference for me are still in the 1980s or something, Romero could have got away with that because he'd played the ball. But the difference there is Romero had first cleared the ball, and it was the follow through. And anybody that's played knows that you don't
That
need
happens.
to with that. We don't need to go through with that force, because if you've clearly
it was a meaty clearance. It was an angry clearance. I've had a few angry clearances.
Like I said, back in the 80s, that was standard sort of thing for players like Graham. So I mean, you get told off by the rest.
And those were the fuckers teaching me how to play ball, so I'm cool with it too.
Yeah, I think it's just full-blooded, and you don't see that too often nowadays. So it kind of stands out like a sore thumb when you do it. For me, I'm all behind Romero, as you know. I absolutely love him to bits. I don't think he's a defender that's up there with the likes of Prime Van Dijk or Ruben Diaz. I think he's a level below that, but he's a damn good defender, and he's really important for us right now. And he could well get better. He may settle down a little bit more. Perhaps as he gets closer to the age of 30, he'll be a little bit calmer. He's still a work in progress. The central defenders don't peak till they're at least 30. They need that experience of when to do things and when not to. So he's a little bit hot-headed. I'm okay with that. In fact, I encourage it at times. Certain Matty Cash, I'm just hoping Romero's fit for that game. I don't care if he gets sent off, if he puts Matty Cash out of the game.
Oh, but then when he does get sent off, they're going to use it. Look at the percentage of minutes in which Romero has missed. And it's just going to add to the narrative, the ongoing fucking biased narrative that some people have some weird infatuation. Anyway.
Well, I don't know. The minutes missed one, you can't really ignore it, though, can you? That's just fact. It's unfortunate. Because there's a lot of injuries.
But they combined suspension and injuries to make it look bigger, because it makes it's like when CNN twists a headline where it's like, man stumbles and broke his ankle. Instead it's like, walkway not even for handicap man as he breaks ankle aggressively, bone through skin. Like, bro, it is not like that. It is literally like
treat them like a seagull. You mean that's what we should.
Oh, I'll take that. Ooh, the seagulls are lucky I don't live on the West Coast, because I'd probably get arrested. They'd be like, "Sir, you don't need to inflict this much violence upon all these seagulls." But alas, here we are.
I'll put it this way anyway. That Romero challenge you got on screen at the moment, when I saw it in real time on the night, I just thought, "Ooh, get in." I liked it. I must admit. But when you look back at it, it's kind of he meant that. He was trying to, as they say, leave one on him. He was making sure he knew damn well he got tackled, and tackled real good.
Speaking of tackled real good, what did you make of Giovanni Lo Celso's pen that he gave away?
That's just stupid.
What the fuck was that?
How can you not see that there's a man between you and the ball?
He did it on purpose.
He had to.
This whole game felt like, what the fuck?
I made the comment earlier about it. Lo Celso, he always has that look on his face that's sort of, I call, totally gormless, like he's got an IQ of about 65, and he made the tackle that sort of backed that up. It's like, how could you do that? Can you not see it? Do you not understand how physics works? Basic stuff. It was just unbelievable. But there you go. That's what you can get from somebody that plays like that. It always seems like he just doesn't give a shit when he plays, to me. Even when he's having a good game, he's kind of strolling. But I don't know. There's a lot of talent with Lo Celso, but there's a lot of stuff I do not like. And what the hell was that? That was just awful. That was every bit as bad as Kulusevski's shirt holding. Just stupid penalties to give away. It's all well and good.
Just texted me and said, "Try not to yell, please," because I think I yelled. I woke him up twice, and he's cranky.
Well, no more seagulls.
Don't talk about those. Don't talk about those seagulls. Well, we were talking about Lo Celso, and I have another little bit on the guy that I want to get to. Obviously, at the end there, when look, all right, I'm just gonna say this: João Pedro had a brace tonight. 2 of 2 penalties converted. Shout out João Pedro. Just João Pedro 15. Google it. Just Google it. See what you find. João Pedro 15.
That's so unfair, but funny.
Any stick will do, Kuva, in this scenario. João Pedro. I wonder. Google that, and then this is going to be a fun little game we're going to play here, Kuva. Little on the spot game. I have a clip. Obviously,
The game
we all
of
saw
morals in football, that could be interesting.
specific morals to a specific incident because of a specific result today. I wouldn't have even brought it up if we had won, to be completely honest. But what do you think Giovanni Lo Celso said to João Pedro here? Do you think he said, "Are you going to pick up your girlfriend from high school after this"? What do you think he said?
Maybe he was concerned, perhaps, them getting enough alone time, perhaps. Yeah, it's such an obvious wind up of some sort. Who knows?
What did he say? Like, you think Lo Celso's trying to become the new Lamella?
Maybe. I don't think he'll be around long enough for that, though. Lamella hung on for a bit. I kind of miss him as well, even though he wasn't very good.
Yeah, and he's fully poised because he's always retweeting and like putting on his Instagram story Tottenham stuff, and that's always nice to see.
It's another one of those players we signed where everything's there to be a top player for us, and just didn't really do it, but still kind of like him.
So a quote from Sonny after the match I just saw says, "This is not our way. We have to bounce back strong." Do you think we'll bounce back strong versus Bournemouth on Sunday?
Yes.
Very quick turnaround?
Yeah. Bournemouth are doing well at the moment, and Solanke's having a really great run of form, but it is still Bournemouth. They are not as good a side as Brighton are, certainly in my opinion. And I think we'll cope with the physicality of Bournemouth better than we did against Brighton. However, how many people have we got left to play now? How many players can we put out on the pitch, and who? It's getting really worrying now. Perhaps this will be the last game we've got until February where we've got even the semblance of a team to go out there, because they're dropping like flies, or they're not available soon. I don't know. Bournemouth's potentially a difficult game, to be fair, but I think we should be able to beat them. But then I thought we should be able to beat Brighton as well. We're in a little bit of trouble still. We're not quite firing, are we?
There was a little piece of me, though, Kuva, that was like, it would be like us to help them turn their form around because they've been struggling. And what do we usually do when teams are struggling, Kuva? We usually help, you know.
But we're kind of going through the phase where we are Dr. Tottenham and we're self-diagnosing. Mm-hmm. That's the way I'm looking at it. So perhaps Bournemouth come along. They're on a good run of form. And then maybe they help us back up. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. See, that's kind of what I was thinking. No, maybe. For sure, Kuva. Concrete evidence. We just explained it there. I saw this on Twitter and I just thought it was a funny tweet, because why would you even have to tweet this question? Says, have injuries derailed Tottenham season?
Let me think now. Let's see. We were top of the league and playing not always great football, but we were playing effective football even when it wasn't great.
We were playing football that led to no losses is what we were doing.
Yeah, and we're also getting players of the month, managers of the month, and it was going great. Fantastic times. Then we did get a lot of injuries, and the results went away. So let me put 2 and 2 together there. Yeah, this time is 4, isn't it? Sort of more points than we got in that period. 4. So yeah, of course, it's derailed us. I mean, we're so dependent on James Maddison when we were attacking at the start of the season. Everything was going for him. He was I'd say he was nailed on for player of the season at that point. Well, a couple of other contenders, but he was up there with them.
Everyone was saying everyone was saying signing of the summer to James Maddison.
Yeah.
Because he was on that trajectory. And now he's doing calf lifts in Dubai. What have we come to, Kuva?
A difficult period. That's what it's called. We just got to get him back. Was he penned in for sort of beginning of February, something like that? That's when our season's properly back on the rails. Till then, we're going to just have to scrap for as many points as we can get. Try and stay in touch. I think the easy answer to this question would be, yeah, duh.
Yeah. Kuva, there's so much that I want to talk about, but yet I don't, if that makes any sense at all.
Easier to talk about it if we're just one tonight, probably.
Oh, well, hell yeah. Of course it would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
I want to ask you if you had to pick two players today that were, let's say, the most frustrating players on the pitch for you, or the most frustrating moments, if you don't want to pick players, your top two frustrating moments or your top two most frustrating players. And while Kuva thinks of that, if you are in the chat, make sure you are hitting a like on the video. I see we're like 8 likes away from 100, and there's been 147 votes. We should be at 140 votes, but hey, c'est la vie.
Okay, got it.
There we are.
I've got it. The two most frustrating for me. First of all, Brennan Johnson, because he was doing all the right things to get in the positions, take the man on, get him to go at the byline, and then putting the cross in, but the cross never arrived. It never seemed to beat the defender. His decision making or his ability to actually play the ball when it mattered was just awful. It didn't go with the rest of what he was doing. If he was putting in some quality deliveries, he would have had a really good game. Forget the fact he wasn't chasing back very effectively or tackling, but just as an attacking player, I thought he was really frustrating. And the other one for me has got to be Kulusevski. He's all the attributes that we do big him up for, his strength on the ball, his eye for a pass. It's all kind of missing today. There was little phases where he'd do a bit of creativity, occasionally picking a good pass, good flick or something. But a lot of it was just going completely wild. And I've never seen him knocked off the ball so easily, so often. He was shocking today. I think that's his worst game.
I think as well, like, for me, one of the most frustrating things was how physically outmatched we were. I'm going to rattle some names off here for you, Kuva. And let's just see what these names mean to you. Okay? That sound good? A little bit of that?
Yeah,
All
we'll go for it.
Igor Julio.
Okay.
Jack Hinchelwood. That motherfucker. God. Billy Gilmore. Facundo Bundegadundo. Wait, Buenos Noches. Facundo Buenos Noches.
I don't think he did an awful lot, to be fair.
But why? I'm looking at their names and I'm like, why is that man bodying a guy whom clip I've played about 30 times in the last 2 weeks? Why did I get sold Kulu coin? Why was I sold Kulu coin? Why did I buy into Kulu coin? And what, for me, the most frustrating thing today, all around, Kulusevski, for me. Because I feel like the physicality almost starts and ends with him. And in the past few matches playing centrally, we've seen what I would say some of the best and most fun of Kulu. He was bodying folks. He was going up for headers. He was making incisive passes. Why is Højbjerg making better through ball passes than Kulusevski?
Højbjerg looked more up for the fight to me. He was more sort of on it, as they say. I think that the real difference is you look at the midfields as a unit. Ours did not look like a sort of solid unit. We're struggling to work each other's game out at times. You could see it didn't look like your first choice 3 central midfielders. Whereas Brighton, with Milner and the sublime Pascal Gross and Billy Gilmore, everything they were doing was on point or really, really good. The passing, the teamwork was great. The vision was great. The tackling was there. They were just at it right the way through the game till those last crazy sort of 10 minutes where they just suddenly disappeared. I forgot to look whether it's due to substitutions or something, but they just fell off the map at the last 10 minutes. Yeah, but the point was how frustrating it was. I agree. I think we were just outdone by a better side at the moment. We were disjointed, slow, leggy, lethargic, slow to the second ball when we lost the first. We weren't winning the first either. It was very rare. And even when we did get a chance to break after our winning possession high up the pitch, we'd put in one good ball to get the ball forward, and then the final delivery was regularly terrible. I think had a little bit of bad luck with it as well. I'd say big up to Richie. I don't think he had a great game, Richarlison, but he was yet again getting in the positions where he could actually finish the ball if it arrived, or getting the shot off. He could have had a couple of goals if things had been done a little bit better, but didn't work out this time, unfortunately. Would have perhaps changed the game a bit if we'd nicked one before half time, for example. I don't think we would have got, well, we certainly wouldn't have got 4-1 down if we scored one, but I think it might have changed the complexion of things. But we kind of didn't have belief in ourselves right the way through the first half and well into the second. And that was a little bit alarming. And you kind of looked at individuals and thought they're off their game. But at the end of the day, I'm also going to give Brighton a huge amount of respect because they can play football. If you are giving them time and space, they're just going to pass you off the park. Usually they do that and don't end up with the goals to reflect that. But hey, we were in a generous mood, so we're gifting them the goals as well. Makes them look sensational then.
Well, we were talking about Kulusevski, and something we won't have to worry about is him playing next week versus Bournemouth, because here's the list of Tottenham players set to be unavailable against Bournemouth. Dan Kulusevski, suspension. The same thing they were worried Christian Romero might do, which is accumulate too many yellow cards. And guess who's on an accumulation ban? Dan Kulusevski, as well as Yves Bissouma. But for some reason, Kuti is the problem. Kuti is the worst. He's the most egregious with his fouls. But when I look at this list, I don't see Christian missing because of suspension. But I'm told that he's so naughty. Oh, he's so mean. Oh, how dare Kulu go into a tackle with his shoes. Oh, he's wearing shoes and he went in a tackle. That's what I'm told. Oh, he misses time because he got injured. He loves Argentina. That's what I'm told, Kuva. Does Dan Kulusevski love Sweden? Is he getting an early vacation? No one's saying that shit about him. Where's the same energy?
Yeah. And Bissouma.
Missing is missing. It's different, Jazz Fusion. Mickey Van de Veen missing is not his fault that we were taking NFL timeouts in the game and he tried to get to sixth gear. That's not... Missing is not missing. It's not as simple as being like, well, he's injured. Or like if it's Giovanni Lo Celso, who is frequently over and over injured for long, extensive periods of time, I think it's different. Like, again, I'm told so many things about our vice captain, yet I'm looking at names. First two, accumulation ban. Yves Bissouma. Is it accumulation or is it his fucking two reds? I don't know.
Hey, I'm looking at Romero and Van der Ven there next to each other on the list, and I cannot wait for those two to be back. I think the two of them together are sensational. I really do. It's also as well. It's fine. All the knives come out for Romero when something goes wrong. Yeah, of course they do. That's pretty standard for that behaviour for football fans, isn't it? But you look at the beginning of the season when we were giving him praise for how much he'd controlled himself, how much he looked like the captain material. That's all forgotten overnight, isn't it? It's just focus on the negatives. You can see a bad player.
Yeah, and I don't think it's fair either, Kuva, when a guy goes down with a hamstring injury and they say, oh, look, well, he's missed X amount of time due to suspension and injuries. I just don't think that's really fair, personally.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, are we going to say that Van der Ven's a bad player? Because, I mean, he's missing half his Spurs career through a hamstring injury now, isn't he?
James Maddison, too. That damn ankle. Yeah. He's out there in Dubai.
They're all terrible? I don't think so.
Sessegnon didn't even make the list. He's an invisible human. Sessegnon is invisible at this point. I don't even think he exists anymore.
Yeah,
he's like the Erie. What is it? The Erie monster? What is it fucking called? The Loch Ness monster. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why you said Erie though. Lake Erie. It's in the name with Lake Erie, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a Lake Erie somewhere. I think they got crocodiles. I'm putting back on the robe of defeat. I'm getting a little chilly here in the room. It's getting cold, and I need the warmth and protection of my robe. L says, question, Son wasted and ineffective on the wing. What did you make of Son? I would say this. He was not good, but he wasn't our worst attacker. I would say he was probably the best out of a bad bunch.
I think for the first 80 minutes, Son did absolutely nothing. In the last 10 minutes and the stoppage time, he suddenly came alive, and he was part of those moments where we could have got something but didn't quite happen. Getting to the byline and cutting the ball back, and either it was intercepted or somebody missed the shot or it blocked. So I think Sonny, for me, if I'm honest, I thought old Tony Hinkledunk, or whatever you want to call him.
Tony Hinkleberry, the fucking
Hinchelwood.
The Worthington chocolate.
Hinchelwood, unfortunately, I would say Hinchelwood had Sonny in his pocket. He just did. He was too strong for him all the way through the game. Sonny is not the player that you put up against a physical player and try to expect him to outmuscle them. You've got to find a bit of space for Sonny to work his magic. He's twinkle toes. He's not like a big burly centre forward. He's a finesse player. So he was up against it, and Tinselwood or whatever is. I'm sorry, I'm just doing it just for your benefit. Like I said, I just felt he had Sonny in his pocket. It happens sometimes.
Hersheywood, motherfucker's a chocolate maker. We got cooked by a young chocolate boy.
Hey, a few weeks back, we had didn't we have Erling Haaland to deal with, and we had Davis and Emerson dealing with
kept him goalless. Yeah, they kept him goalless, but not Jack Hinklewood.
These things can happen. It's unfortunate. Sonny's been having a great season though, so he can't play brilliantly in every game. He's just struggled in a few recently, I think. And it tends to be those really physical type games. It's not his style. I think he is a little bit wasted on the left unless you're going to hit him very early with the pass and give him some space to run into. Then I think you'll see him really wreaking havoc on the opposition. But in these sorts of games, we just couldn't get on the ball enough. We were very wasteful with everything, very sloppy and indecisive when we did have it. There's little patches where we played well in the 80 minutes, but very few. Most of the time, it was just watching Brighton annihilate us, just passing us off the pitch. Sonny's just one of those players. You just got to get him in the right place and the ball at his feet, and bang, it's a goal, and everybody loves him. That's the way it is.
And you know what? If he had that out the box curler off the right foot that he almost, it was not too far away. And if that had gone in, we might be talking.
Isn't it weird though? Every time he gets the ball, you're thinking he's going to do one of those, don't you?
And there's
You
been
just
times, but there was a moment where, like in these matches, like Villa and West Ham, where we were just fucking passing, where I was dying for Kulu anyone's son to take a shot from the outside of the box, and it never happened. And it's like, then it was like halftime at one of those games. Ainge said, "Bro, just shoot." And then Brennan Johnson started shooting and really hasn't stopped shooting. Because the next person I want to talk about is Brennan Johnson, as well, because he was my second disappointment of the day, Kuva. This isn't the first match where we need a fucking goal and he has a chance on a counter where it's him, a defender, the goalkeeper, and some of the times other runners he can find. And rather than being clinical with his passing or his finishing, he just always seems to make the wrong decision. How soon do we start worrying about Brennan Johnson? Does he need to be benched versus Bournemouth? Because Kuva, I'm actually considering that maybe he does. He is our bet. He is better than Hill. He's better than what we got. But like, is him being better than what we got enough to justify starting him again?
Yeah, I think you've got to try and play him into some form, to be honest. Much like last season with Sonny, when people said, "Oh, he's finished. He can't do it anymore." And I remember we were having the conversation in particular. We're just saying, when you've got some player like that and you know what they can do, persevere with it. They will come good. You've got to play them through the bad patch. If you just bench them, how are they going to get the form back? If they're not on the pitch, how can they do that? I think with Brennan Johnson, he just needs some game time, bit of faith in him, see what he does for the rest of the season. If he's still doing it come May, and there's no signs of him stepping up his game, yeah, it might be a little bit worrying. But we'll see. Still early games for him. He's missed a few games as well. That hasn't helped. And with all the injuries, we've been struggling. We're not the same shape we were earlier in the season. So I think he's a forward. Just hit a few goals in. It's going to look a lot better for him. Look what it's done for Richarlison to hit a few goals. Works wonders. Having said that, Richarlison was reverted to type and he was offside almost all the games today again. That can be a problem. But then you can also say maybe the other players should be releasing the ball earlier for him. Maybe.
I like this from Unknown. Drop him. Just bring him back on. I mean, because then I think I've always look. I am going to move on for him because I do have a show that I have to get on to after this. I will be redirecting this show. I will be redirecting it on over, but there's a question that I did want to bring up from Jessica. I didn't start, but here it is. It says, if Højbjerg's our only fit center mid in January.
That's possible.
Oh my God. Oh. If Højbjerg is our only fit center mid in January, who do we bring in?
Then you play him as the holding midfielder and you start playing the likes of Donnelly and hope Kulusevski gets some form back. Yeah, if we're having to pick out a midfielder, then we were linked heavily with Calvin Phillips at Man City. He would fit the role very well. His passing range is really underrated, and he certainly does the workload, and he can shield the defence. It'd be a good acquisition. Do it much the same sort of style of player as James Milner, in my opinion. I think Calvin Phillips a little bit more dynamic as well. Sorry?
I think I was going to say too soon. You brought up Milner. Too soon.
Too soon. Okay.
Way too soon. Jared.
We'll call him Jack Mooner or something.
I think Jared Milner is is disrespectful enough. It's like
Jerry.
We said, fuck it. We know
Milner.
your name, Jerry Milner, you bastard. Also, God. It's just.
I mean, we're linked with
why are
Conor
we
Gallagher.
sell?
We're linked with Conor Gallagher from Chelsea, but I wouldn't take him. I don't think he's a very good player. All he does is run around a lot. I don't see what he's other than
I've
that.
equated him. He's just a better looking Oliver Skip.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm going to say Skip's better looking as well, just to be controversial.
That is controversial, but you know, hey, Skip would probably agree with you. Just yeah, I'm gonna remove that comment. I'm gonna Kuva. Before we get on out of here, do you have any final parting thoughts for me, my friend? Because obviously we can't do like man of the match, BDE of the match. There was none of that. I mean, but if we did, I guess Vicario, both. He was really our best.
I think final thought for me would be, with January coming up and looking at our continuing injury crisis that just goes on forever, and suspensions coming up, and the fact that we've just taken a bit of a hiding from a team we should really be looking at beating if we're serious about winning anything. I'd say I'll go back to, because it's Christmassy, a quote from Die Hard again. And that'll be, if I can remember it well enough, that'll be Owl, the cop, the black cop who's outside, who's had his car shot up and everything. And he's talking to John McClane. And he goes, if you're who I think you are, you know that there's a time to hide, there's a time to fight, there's a time to pray, or something like that. And I'm just feeling right now, it's that time to pray. You've got to show a little bit of faith in the team. We can do this. I don't see how, but we can do this. Let's pick up a few points, scrap for them, just find a way. We have got some talent still in the team. We've struggled to make it all work today, but won't be like that in every match. So a win against Bournemouth, and we're back on the wagon again, aren't we? Until the game
back on the wagon until we hit the next fucking rock,
yeah,
and then the wheel falls off, and
there's a lot of stones on this path.
It's a tough one there, Kuva. Look, my final thought.
Don't go there.
Okay, but God, I hate seagulls so fucking much, dude. I hate them. I'm trying to not be loud, but I hate them so much. I'll find the next one, the little motherfucker. I'm gonna break that motherfucker's neck. I'm gonna rip off his face. I'm gonna pluck him and I'm gonna eat him. I'm gonna eat every single seagull I find from here on out, because I'm tired of them winning versus me. They stole my sandwich damn near 10 years ago, and I ain't forgot. See, on my birthday, Gareth Bale hit a game winner versus Brighton, and I said, thank you, Gareth Bale, because a little bit of retribution versus these fucking seagulls. But my final thought is, anyone on the West Coast and here in America, or wherever you are where there's fucking seagulls, grab them by the neck and say, naughty, naughty bird, and then let them free. Don't kill them. Just tell them they're a bad little bird, because Jack Hinkle's Hersheywood, whatever his fucking name is. Congrats, man. You child. You scored the opening goal, and we never looked good after that. So that's my final thought. Hinkleworthy, Jack Schinkelschmeyer, whatever your fucking name is, wearing Dirk Nowitzki's number. You're a fraud.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's a bit of positivity. We're talking about struggling in January, but another way of looking at it is we've only really got the 2 league games. We've got Manchester United, who aren't exactly great at the moment, and Brentford, who are having a kind of a weird season where they get beaten quite heavily at times. Other times look all right. So if we've only got the 2 league games, let's see if we can stay in the FA Cup, home to Burnley. Surely we could, and get something, at least, like say a win and a draw from the 2 league games, and just hobble our way through to February. That's when we're going to see some of our players coming back. So maybe we can just get over this next little hurdle. Maybe.
There we go. I like that. Let's end with that final thought. And I love that very much. Ball being counter, I'm going over don't know why. I should really cancel, but I'm going over to a show called American Waffle over on Savvy TV, and they're just basically going to make fun of me and the fact that we lost. So if you want to see that, that's what's going to be going on over there. You can watch me.
Is there going to be any Arsenal fans on there?
There is.
Well, there you go. At least you won't be alone with it. Yeah.
I'll be kept company on the bottom row. That is for sure. Because look, there's still a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about it over the weekend. We'll be back on the channel tomorrow, maybe at some point. Maybe. I don't know. Should I take a day? We've been taking days off. Disclaimer, I won't have anything after the Bournemouth game. It's my wife's birthday that day, so I won't have any content that day. I promised her that I would not stream on that day. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I may have to run to the bathroom.
You might have a good day with the wife, and then sort of, I've got a little bit of time now. Maybe I'll just.
Officially, I will say no. Officially, because it's New Year's Eve, so we gotta do the whole like midnight.
I'll get you. You've just got to be a good boy all day long, and then maybe you get a little treat by having a little airtime. That's the way it works.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I like that, Kuva. Keep sending those marriage tips in, and those are free. You just got those free here on United Spurs of America. But I do want to say,
don't listen to me with marriage tips. I'm on my own for a reason, mate.
Hey, sometimes solitude can be really good for you. But Ball Bean Counters is where you're going. I'll provide the link. I am redirecting, so you can just stay here. I'm redirecting on over there, and we'll start very shortly. Big up Sava, Football Heritage TV says, big up guys, big up Sava. How you doing, my friend? Tough one to take today. Here's Hassam. Hassam, this is all I got to say to you.
You and donkeys are the same. What is the difference between you and a donkey? The donkey, you take the whip, you hit him, and the donkey's like, ee-aw. That's the donkey. You're a donkey.
Ee-aw. I love that. Hassam, this is football. What a great channel. I will be there tomorrow as well, getting cooked. See, this is the problem. I agree to things because I'm confident about what we're going to do. And then I end up in situations where tonight I have to go on American Waffle, and then tomorrow I'm on El Aqua, and everyone's just going to be like, you took 4 seagulls, 4 seagulls, 4 seagulls. Oh, bro, Hassam, Vel was already here. Vel was here. He already clipped. I'm sure he already got what he needed to make the intro for tomorrow. Look, tomorrow's going to be painful. This is the only place where I have control of anything. Big up
said it before. Said it before. The banter with you in that little group is funny. It is.
Yeah, it is. It can be. I don't think tonight's going to be very fun. I'm not in a
no, but we'll find out. Much fame and injury.
It's a tough one, but hey, y'all. That's going to do it for episode number 121. A sad one, but nonetheless. Jacob, read my comment. Arsenal could lose to Fulham. Newcastle could lose to Liverpool, and we could beat Bournemouth for sure. Man City will win. Come on, you Spurs. Hey, come on. Look, big up Mark. Appreciate you being here. Also want to say big up to Shakar, Chippy, double time, quadruple time now for Chippy with that 50 and the 2. Big up. And then Tom Martin, go ahead with the re-up on the membership. Member for 2 months now. Tom Martin, I hope you call in when we do the member hangout next. Ash P as well, member. A member of Talk and Ball. So again, make sure you go subscribe to Talk and Ball. All right? You can find Ash there. You can find Colin there. They're putting together quite the crew, I might say. Maybe one day the crew can outtake me, maybe I can have the whole gang of Talking Ball on this channel, and we can go subscribe over there. They're very close to monetization, so go subscribe, like, and everything at Talking Ball. And then a user as well for a super chat. Big up a user coming in with that super chat. Russell Brook, same old Spurs. Look, we were very Spursy today. That's what it was. I don't know what other way to put a bow on it, but I do appreciate every single person that did tap in. Again, if you want to see some more of me, I probably Who knows what mood I'm going to be in? Maybe I'll fight back. Once they start talking and it's them frauds on the cameras and I see them talking to me, I can't help but fight back regardless of the result. So now that I'm thinking about it and I'm thinking of their stupid fucking faces on the screen and they're going to be like, blah, 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 Tottenham, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm getting a little bit of my, it don't fucking matter. All right? It don't fucking matter. What the fuck you talking to me for, huh? What you talking to me? Oh, sorry. What are you talking to me for? Look at the table, motherfuckers. That's what I'm going to be saying. But until next time, folks, I hope you stay blessed, stay fresh. I hope this was a little bit of a maybe relief through the frustrations. But stay blessed, stay fresh. Up the lads. And come on, you Spurs.
United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Doji. Oh yes. Oh